guys, welcome to the Tabletop Hangout. This is episode 6, I believe, and I am Jonathan Phillips Bradford. This is where we have me and industry friends talk about what's going on with our lives and the tabletop gaming industry once a week. Today, this week, we have...
I'm Spencer Reeve. I'm the project manager at ESC Toy.
Awesome. And...
I'm Ross Thompson, and last time I was on here, I was the community manager at White Moon Dreams, and now I am the marketing specialist at USAopoly.
Ooh, awesome.
Can't wait to hear
Mr.
about
Foley?
that. Hey, I'm Heath Foley. I am a tabletop industry concept artist that has drawn for a bunch of people, and I'm starting my own company soon, producing miniatures called Red Panda Minis.
Woo! Oh, awesome.
And for the first time ever, the legendary...
Hi, I'm Eric. I make games.
Guys.
That is an apt description of what he does. Solid.
So I always like to start the show off with everyone just kind of talk about any games they've played lately, what they've been up to, any news. What you been up to, Spencer?
This last week has been really busy for me. Been taking care of some stuff on the family side. So I haven't done a lot game-wise, honestly. But I've started Uncharted 4, which is amazing looking and is well written, if not maybe even better written than the previous Uncharted's. I'm a little ways into it now, but surprising because I'm finding myself just wanting to kind of muscle through the actual gameplay parts of the game and just see the story. Like, I don't want to spend you'll get a cutscene and you'll get 45 minutes of gameplay. And I'll be like, I don't really want this 45 minutes of gameplay. I just kind of want to know what they figure out during this 45 minutes and then see the next cutscene. I'm sure there's a YouTube channel I could subscribe to.
I was about to say, if you can just save the money and go watch the YouTube if you don't want to play.
Well, nice thing about working with ESC is that we have a very close relationship with Sony, and so Uncharted was gifted to me from the guys at Naughty Dog. With that said, it's an excellent game and everyone should buy it and play it. And every 45 minutes of gameplay is totally amazing and worthwhile. And is definitely not the part that slows the game down. So just, I was joking earlier about that was a joke. No, I mean, the gameplay is incredible. I think it's more of a testament to the writing that when you're engrossed in the story, and especially this one does a lot of stuff with character that the characters in the previous games were all very much lovable goofs that always had really great one-liners and great quips, and there was a kind of an interesting story. This one has a lot of character dynamic about people who do and don't trust each other, people's past coming into play. That part of the story is what makes this game more, I think, narratively more interesting than the previous ones, because you're learning about this character you've spent three games with before, but that's almost a decade of games, right? I mean, I don't remember exactly when the first Uncharted came out, but I think it was 08 or 09. So it's been 7 or 8 years, and it's kind of interesting to kind of get this background to him, because what they do is they explore a lot of, and they did a little bit of this in 3, but they explore a lot of who he is as a person, thanks to his brother is involved in this one. It's been all over the trailers and stuff. His brother, who's not been in any of the previous games, shows up, and you get an explanation for why his brother hasn't been in any of the previous games and why he hasn't been mentioned before, which is a pretty good explanation. It's a pretty good explanation of how they cover that up, and it's interesting because he adds a dynamic to the characters that you already know and are established that digs into everybody's past a little bit, and it's fun. It's definitely a very well told story, and it's mechanically the best Uncharted. It feels like the best Uncharted. It's definitely the best looking. It's just that when you're telling a story, it's like if you were watching a really compelling movie, and then every 5 minutes you paused and you're like, all right, I got to go do some chores. I'll come back in 30 minutes and see what happens in this next beat, right? So. It's just I'm just driven to see what happens next. But that's it. That's the only thing I've really done.
That's fair. That's still awesome.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Ross? Sounds like you've got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah. Let's see. This week I moved from LA to San Diego. So I left White Moon Dreams. I'm very bummed I left to leave those guys. They're awesome. We were working on some very cool stuff. So they're working on the Dark Seduction campaign, which will tell the Haley and the Negra story for War Machine Tactics. So that'll be fun. I'm sure we'll see more of that at E3. And then on Thursday, my last day in LA, I was at Geek and Sundry, and I was on Ivan Van Norman's Game the Game show with Mike Sumlicker and Becca and Ivan, and we played For the Birds, was a new game that Mike was showing off by one of his friends, Evil Steve. And it's a very cute game. You have to get your birds either 4 in a row, pretty much, and they can either be in a row, or they can be diagonal, or they can be in a flock of 4. And the art, they all kind of look like Raven-esque Viking birds. So there's, and you can bring down hawks and crows to move your different birds around the table to mess your friends up. So we did that. That was super fun. And then the next day, I packed up everything in my apartment and moved down to San Diego.
Wow.
So I did that. And then on Saturday, I went to Kaid Crown for the SCA. So every 6 months, in each kingdom, there's a crown tournament, and whoever wins gets to be the next king. And so my buddy Oz won. It was a crazy cool day. There were 24 fighters in the event. And normally I try to fight if I can in that tournament, but with life and everything going on, it just wasn't going to happen. So
you couldn't be King Ross.
I'd have to practice and train a lot if I want to be up at that. I could usually go 4th or 5th round in a regular tournament, but Crown, everyone brings their A game all the time. So it's a really challenging, really driven day. But it was a really cool site up in Victorville, so that was a lot of fun. I'm a little sunburned from that. If I look extra red, I'm not drunk. I'm just sunburned. And yeah. So I did that, and then today I spent the day at I went to Game Empire over in Mesa Boulevard. Just had some friends there, and then I went over to Addie's Games in Poway and picked up Warhammer Quest.
Ooh!
So super jazzed about that. And then after this podcast, I'm gonna throw Tabletop Hangout thing. I'm gonna go over to Tabletop Commons down in Hillcrest. And that's the big San Diego tabletop cafe. And they've been around for a year now, so I'm going to go in and say hi and do all that.
Wow, you must be busy.
No, not at all.
Like comparatively, I'm just thinking about my day. It's like I woke up and I got some groceries. And then I took a nap.
What have you been doing, tabletop or gaming related, Heath Foley?
Actually, last night I have a bunch of my married friends who have kids, and we threw a Hail Mary and had a game night together, which was miraculous. With this group, it is an amazing moment. All of their wives agreed, even though they were rolling their eyes very heavily. They understand we were hyper nerds, and I'm so glad they actually gave us, a couple moments that we could game it up. Although it didn't do us much good, because my friend set up this epic D&D campaign. It was beautiful, and he had all these traps and plans and all these things set up for like a good 5 to 6 hour session. And of course, I had that one friend who was an asshole and didn't he literally. There's a guy that's literally like, "I have the information you seek," and he killed him. And then we get to a tower, and there's a door, and there's magical rune inscriptions, and he's like, "I'm gonna throw a rope and hook up to the top of the tower and climb it." And we were like, do you not see clearly what we're supposed to do? And then all of a sudden he's like, "I'm doing it," and he rolled a 20, and he scattered up there, and we were like, "Are you okay? Cool." So we all followed him, and then we were at the end boss, and my buddy who was DMing was just like, "What the living hell?" And then the end boss was supposed to do something else, and then we threw some mutating potion, and he turned into a monster, and we killed it in 3 hits, and I was like, yeah, this is great D&D campaign, guys.
Well,
and then we ended up playing Super Fight for 3 hours, so...
Well, that's always fun.
Yeah, the night did recover. My buddy who was screaming about his army of internet trolls and how he was a dolphin commanding them. He literally won 4 fights with that. I still don't know how.
That sounds like one of those DM campaigns where the DM, no matter if you roll a 20, doesn't necessarily mean success.
Yeah, if it was up to me, my DM style is I throw boulders at people when they start pissing me off. Like, they could be in the middle of the desert, and I'm like, there's a boulder rolling at you. We're at the top of a dune. It's rolling uphill. What are you going to do?
It's Dark Souls.
Dark Souls, the DM campaign. That would be a brutal setting. But yeah, that's what I've been up to recently. Besides that, just working on Kickstarter stuff, doing illustrations.
What's your Kickstarter stuff?
Oh, good God. All right. I'm going to make an announcement on here. Tentatively, with the Kickstarter to support the miniature line, because I've been drawing for so long, I figured I might as well make my own minis. I'm launching the campaign on June the 20th for my first official Kickstarter. Woo!
Awesome.
I'm really excited. I've gotten all the sculpts in. They look awesome. I'm actually getting Patrick Keith to kind of touch them up and make sure they're good for production. The art's set up. I've got 5 Kickstarter goals already artistically lined out. I've got another 6 goals mentally prepared. And I've got the amazing Eldritch Studios, who, I don't know what monster organizes that thing. He's organizing a video for me for it. So, yeah, at this point, I just need to start up the hype train and see how many people I can get interested in anthropomorphized animals and traditional fantasy roles, kicking butt and looking awesome.
Sweet.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I'm super hyped up about it.
Are there dogs?
They're actually, I've got an idea for a Sicilian pug merchant lord.
Great. If I could use it in Pugmire, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Pugmire does look awesome. There's a wolf.
There is a wolf ranger.
Okay, cool.
I'm trying to stay away from domesticated animals for this thing, just because it opens a floodgate of you should draw my dog. It's a Shar-Pei. I'm gonna be like, what can I do with a Shar-Pei? I don't.
No, I hear you. I hear you.
But actually, in a slightly somber note, the family dog of my family was a little corgi, and we just had to put him down recently. So I'm thinking about doing, in honor of him, doing a corgi character somewhere in the game. I don't know what he's gonna be. Because he was the grumpiest little shit dog you've ever met, but we all loved him to death.
I was going to say, dearly missed, huh?
Oh, no, truly and deeply missed. You had to earn this dog's love.
This eulogy, best eulogy ever. All right, we're gathered here today because we all know this guy's a grumpy little piece of shit.
I was literally consoling my parents the other night, and I was like, that grumpy piece of shit is going to give God some trouble.
Oh.
And they ended up laughing because they know he was a bastard, but he was a lovable bastard. I don't know how else to put it. Like you'd pet him, and he would growl ferociously at you, and then start nipping, and you're like, all right, dude, whatever.
Yeah.
The fitting eulogy. Oh yeah, the guy who owns Red Panda Miniatures. He's a monster. Don't buy anything from him.
Awesome. Well, how about you, Mr. Eric Lang? What have you been up to?
I put on pants.
Oh, wow. Everybody, round of applause.
Yeah, pants.
Round of applause.
That's all you get. I put on pants today.
Unlike everyone else, you don't do it one leg at a time, right? You just jump through them.
Right, just magic. I put on pants today. I put on pants yesterday. I may do so tomorrow. I don't know. I'm feeling ambitious.
Yeah.
I put on shorts, so I don't know if that counts as putting on pants.
Well, it half counts.
True fact. So game-wise, I haven't. I bought a bunch of games and then didn't play them. So I still have XCOM 2 that I can't play. I mean, I could play it, but then I don't get to do anything else.
Didn't you work on that game?
XCOM. No, not the computer game, dude.
He bought the computer game, dog.
Yeah.
Oh, the computer game. My bad.
Yeah, but we didn't. There's no to the board game, as far as I know.
I thought there was. So. You said
There's
XCOM 2,
probably
I was like, oh.
expansions.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
You never know. I got. I mean, I'm still playing Hearthstone occasionally, but I've actually been.
That's cool.
I'm a dork. I've been playing my own game, Duelist, actually a lot more lately, just because it's past beta, and we're not doing much tweaking on it anymore, except for working on expansions and stuff. So now we're kind of relaxed and playing it for fun.
Oh, awesome.
And that's kind of obsessed with it.
I like that game.
Well, thank you, Spencer.
It's very well made. The art style is rad, and
I love the art style.
I was going to say, I need to look into the game just because I saw the art and I was like, this thing looks freaking beautiful.
the concept is really cool. I mean, the idea of a deck builder that turns into like almost Final Fantasy Tactics is it's pretty fucking hot, and it's really cool when you get into it.
And there's a panda in it.
Awesome.
I didn't know there was a panda in it. I'm out. I'm fucking out.
We call it the Panda Spencer.
No, that's bullshit. Don't lie to me.
No, I mean, obviously I didn't want to call it something that bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, I played a lot of board games recently. I've been getting back into the discipline. It has to be a discipline, sadly, of going to the game store and playing games for fun. No prototypes, no nothing. So I've just been mostly going to see how far behind I've fallen on the last few months of releases. And so now I'm just playing stuff that I don't even ask when it comes out anymore. I'll play games like, did it come out this year? Sure. Sounds good.
Cool.
Otherwise, so I played...
So what's the newest game you've played?
We played Celestia a couple of weeks ago, a new Aaron Weisbaum game, which I don't even remember the publisher, but it's a cool little game. It's a cool little push your luck game with a little bit of groupthink in it, and it's got a really cool, badass little airship made out of a 3D airship made out of cardboard. Fun little game. It seems like when you look at it, when I had it explained to me, I was like, all right, I played this game 50 times already, but nope, it's pretty fresh.
That's awesome. So what kind of game is it? Is it like a co-op, or is it
No, it's a competitive game. It's push your luck. So there's a row of islands, a row of cards in islands, and your airship starts at 1, and then all of you guys have each island. To get to the next one, you have to pay a certain amount of resources out of your hand, or the ship crashes. Every turn, one player gets to be the pilot, and they are everybody else. They're the ones who have to pilot the ship from one island to the other. If they have the cards, everybody else in turn, clockwise, one player has to decide if they trust the pilot to continue going, or get off at the island that they're at. If they get off the island that they're at, they pick up the reward that's there, and of course they get progressively better. Otherwise, they stay on with the pilot and they move on. At some point, some pilot is not going to have enough cards, and things going to crash. And the people who crash are not going to pick up anything. Everybody who was left off at an island picks something up. That's basically it.
Hey, who publishes that game, Eric?
I wish I knew. I didn't pay that much attention to it.
Okay.
I'll look it up on Board Game Geek. It's called Celestia. It's really cool.
Okay.
And it's by Aaron Weisbaum, he was an often co-designer with Alan Moon. They did San Marco together and some other games I can't recall at this point. But this is, as far as I know.
It says ABBA Games is the publisher.
HABA?
ABBA, Blam, Chinos Games. There's like 4 or 5 publishers credited here.
Okay.
Let me ask you this: is there a quote-unquote North American release for this game? Because I see
there must be.
There is a multilingual version, but there does not seem to be.
There must be, because I played it here in Canada.
Okay. I've seen. The reason why I ask is I've seen this game, and when I saw this game, I don't believe there was a North American distributor or publisher. Okay. So I just didn't know if it came to market yet. That's why I was asking.
Okay. Well, we played very recently, so maybe it just did.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. There is an English language version. I know that. So it could have been that version that somebody imported. I don't know.
Spencer, I'm transfixed by something that's going on behind you.
What's happening?
It looks like there's a giant mosquito flying.
What is that?
Right there?
Yeah.
What is that?
It's a dragonfly, because I'm super into those, dude. Super into dragonflies now.
All right.
Moved out west. I got really into the out west art. I'm all about Georgia O'Keeffe vagina flowers and dragonflies. And
Dude, there's not nearly enough turquoise jewelry and buffalo paintings on your wall.
Dog, just wait.
Matter of time.
You will see me at Dragon Con, sir, and you will be impressed by the amount of turquoise I'm wearing. That's also my birthstone. Turquoise is my birthstone.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is.
Spencer's going to show up to Dragon Con as a dragonfly.
Yeah, I'm gonna come to Dragon Con as a dragon. I thought it was Dragonfly Con. That's my joke for the evening, guys. There you go. That's the fucking prime cut. Ain't gonna get any better than that.
That's amazing.
Man, it's a damn good thing you got a day job, dude.
Yeah. At least for a little while longer. You're talking shit about Uncharted 4.
I was about to ask, are they requiring comedy as part of the job? Because then you're screwed.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. No, luckily no. Just my work ethic alone is what makes them laugh. So.
That's awesome. So did you like the game, Eric?
Sorry, which one?
The game you were just talking about.
Celestia.
Oh yeah, I like it. I mean, it's got a 3D, little airship that you build out of cardboard. So it's got a toy in it. So of course I like it.
Yeah, that's the thing I remembered from the game was.
That's the thing everybody remembers.
Yeah, it's like I was like that airship's cool because you really could have done it. You could have done it with tokens. There's meeples, right? Is it meeples?
Yeah, they go inside the airship, and then when you crash, of course you got to push it over, and all the meeples fall out and die. Yeah. We put when I get my copy, I'm going to put little googly eyes on the meeples so that when they fall, they'll be like, "Gwah!" Right?
Googly eyes do improve everything.
Right? Well, because then they'll be cross-eyed, and they'll look dead and really sad, and maybe after the person who crashes the ship, they'll be all sad inside for a couple extra minutes, and that's the game.
That's awesome. Are you working on anything recently that you're allowed to talk about?
Nope.
Nope, that's fair.
Yeah, no, sure I am. I'm working for. Actually, as far as I know, everything that I'm doing the next 6 or so months has been announced. So, like the others is coming out at Gen Con. Right. The Arcadia Inferno and Pets is coming out at Gen Con, I think.
Oh, I love Arcadia Pets.
Me too.
Arcadia is historically, having there only been one other one, so I can say this with complete accuracy. Historically bound for Gen Con, and then it's a rush at the last minute. Like, we were supposed to have the first Arcadia in August to make it to Gen Con, I think, and start delivering, and I remember it was just ever so slightly delayed. It didn't make it. We literally got it like the first week of September.
Oh, you know what? It's May. Yeah, there's no way. There's no way.
No. So.
That's not true. It can happen. Just put it in a truck and have Travis drive it. It'll work.
Yeah.
I mean, it's worked for other games for sure.
Yeah, no. Bloodborne will be hopefully, fingers crossed.
Awesome.
Might make it. Might make it at the show.
I'm looking forward to that.
Say again?
I sadly did not get to play Bloodborne at Expo. It was like every time I was about to get a chance to, I had to film something.
That's your fault.
That was my job. Well, it was my job, so I was more there to work.
Yeah, because we also didn't. We had to play it off in a little corner.
Yeah.
Because of licensing hubbub. But thanks, Sony. Hey, Spencer, thanks Sony for us.
Yeah, I'll let him know.
I'll let him know.
Well, they're already drafting up the email to him right now, so you can just respond when it gets there.
Yeah, they are. They're like, dear Spencer, Uncharted, A.
Yeah.
Because they're secretly Canadian.
Secretly.
Aren't we all?
Eric's not secretly Canadian.
Oh, no. Canadian out and proud. Love it.
You guys elbow really hard, I hear, right?
Only if we come up against a gate.
So what can you tell us about the Bloodborne game? Like what kind of game should people expect and what it's about?
It's got cards.
Mm-hmm.
It has art on said cards.
Awesome.
A little bit of push your luck, right?
It may have a little bit of push your luck.
So it's also got a 3D boat. It's basically Celestial. It's the same
thing. Just a Bloodborne dragon.
It actually does have a 3D little first player token that moves around and stuff, but you're not piloting the ship. So I mean, it's modeled after the Chalice dungeon runs from from Bloodborne because we had to. Like that's the only piece of gameplay that we could encapsulate neatly and repeatedly. That's not me.
Sorry, that's me. I'm trying to stop it.
It's the dragonflies.
There, I got it. There.
Oh, you were watching cat videos.
I was like, look at these kittens. No, my phone started doing something ridiculous, so I had to kill it. Anyway, go ahead.
Kill.
Yeah, phones off.
Oh, good rule.
Right?
Yeah.
We should play. What is it? The phone game, the iPhone.
That tower game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, Spencer, is your phone any good?
No, my phone's a piece of shit.
Oh, I don't want it then.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were we talking? Oh, so it's
telling us about Bloodborne.
So you're going through a Chalice dungeon, killing a bunch of monsters, taking their blood, but you're doing it competitively. And most of what you expect of Bloodborne is there. So everybody has an arsenal of weapons that starts off kind of crappy, and you have to throw it. And you have to. Well, you start with your starter weapons, right? And everybody simultaneously is attacking the monsters, but they're resolving it in player order. So whoever's the first player is going to get first crack at them. And if there's no blood left on the monster, you're not going to get any by the time it hits your turn. Or you can do the Escape to the Hunter's Dream, which is essentially their version of going like, I'm out of here. And you can go bank all the blood that you got, because if you die, you lose all your blood, and it's a card game, so you don't get to go and find it again. You're out of luck. And of course, blood is the victory condition of the game. So the most blood that you get, and every monster also has a trophy type based on the 3 monster types that are in the game. And every time if you participate in the kill of a monster, you get to up one of your trophies. So you have to pay attention to which monsters you're killing, as well as just getting blood straight up. And of course, when you die or when you enter the Hunter's Dream, you can go shopping for cool new upgraded weapons and bolt paper and Molotovs and all that. All the cool stuff from Bloodborne.
Nice.
Just better. So yeah, we're better than the video game. You heard it here, kids. And you die a lot. You just die a lot.
I was going to say, the one thing I'm hoping for to see from that game is that it's brutally hard and I die constantly.
You die a lot, but I played a couple rounds where everybody was wiped out on the first turn. It was pretty hilarious.
That's awesome.
Well, except me, because I was like, nah, I'm out of here.
That's cheat.
Yeah, because that's how I roll.
Yeah. If anyone's ever played games with Eric Lang, they would know he's a big run cheater.
That's true.
Yeah,
I learned from Spencer.
Well, that coming from Jonathan, too, who conveniently forgets certain rule sets in the middle of playing, and he goes, oh, yeah, that's right, I forgot about that, and then suddenly...
Hey, new editions are a thing, man.
Well, you remember how I said the game was about victory points? Actually, it's a race. Yoink. Yeah.
Well, see, what you do is you build your cardboard ship in Bloodborne, and then you keep it...
Yeah.
Until it crashes and Spencer with the googly eyes falls out.
Yeah. Well, I'm always on board, man.
Not always, but once you fall off, you're not on board anymore.
Well, that's true. But I mean, I never get off. I just say push it to the limit.
That's what she said.
I live my life via the Scarface official soundtrack. Just say, this is the best philosophy ever written. It's the one I'm going to follow for the rest of my life. Push it to the limit. Worked out for fucking Scarface. I fell asleep halfway through the movie, but it seems like things were going his way. So...
It ends okay for him.
It does. It ends, for the situation, it ends pretty well for him.
We all die eventually.
Yeah.
For the last 2 minutes, you were saying words.
Was I? Was I?
So for me, the games I've mostly been playing the most lately is still playing Guild Ball, which I've fallen in love with that game. I love playing the Alchemist and setting everything on fire, which is super fun.
I gotta build my team. I still haven't done that yet.
You do. You got the Hunter's Guild, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played that one yet. I've been playing against Liz's team, and it's been super fun. She got the Brewers, and then Heath actually came out with me, and we've been learning the game. And
Masons.
I picked my team just because I get to be 2 big guys in gas masks. That's all I knew. I was like, I get 2 fat guys on my team. Sold. and now I really, really like the playstyle because it's just really annoying. Just lots of status effects and slowing people down.
Yeah, really fun when you're trying to learn the game, when your buddy's literally like poisoning your entire team, or half of them are on fire, and all you've done is like knock down a guy. Oh no!
That's actually the best way to give demos. Just push your friend.
Literally a trial by fire.
Well, it was
should've
me
done is
learning
lit
at
his
the same
teeth.
time too. I was like, oh, I can do this. Okay, now you're on fire. And this person, oh, now you're poisoned too. You
Yeah,
know?
I think the second I realized I could turn the card over and there was more stuff, that I was like, oh, good. These all play off of each other. I didn't know that until like 20 minutes into the game, when I already had 3 guys who were dying.
Which is a big thing because the brewers are all about like grouping together and synergizing off of each other.
See,
Well,
I think if I get into that game, I'm going to have to play something like The Butchers, where I just go around murdering people. That's more my play style. I can see getting behind that.
Amen to that.
You're like,
You
oh,
guys-
this is a sports game? No, I don't care. I'm just going to kill you.
You guys are playing to the full point limit, the full
Yeah.
victory points. How long are your games running?
About like an hour and a half, maybe an hour.
Good.
I guess it depends on how good the game is. Like if one person's getting slaughtered, it'll be done quicker. But it's about an hour and a half. And that's also with us learning the rules at the same time and referencing the rule book and stuff.
Yeah, once you get it down, about an hour and a half should be about right. But at that point, you're thinking more strategy and not, oh my gosh, what does this do?
Yeah. Interesting.
So-
Yeah, I got to build my team. I want to have it ready for DragonCon so I can play with some people there, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
You can do it.
Yeah, we'll see.
I thought you were running around in underwear at Dragon Con.
I don't run around in underwear because nobody wants to see that, including myself. But I get drunk, and it's fun. But this will be the first time in 3 years that I won't have like some work obligation while I'm there.
So be careful. As experience with that.
Yeah.
The year that I left Simon and then went to work with the War Store,
Yeah.
that Gen Con, I don't remember it. Like,
Yeah.
there's photos of me at that year, and I'm like, oh, at Gen Con, I know I had blue drinks, and I just walked around with them like Vegas,
Yeah.
and no one told me to not do that, so I just kept doing it, and
Well, that's like Dragon Con and the bucket of whatever sugary rum drink they hand you.
Oh, that shit is the fucking end of the night. That's the end of the night right there. You don't go past that drink.
I don't remember, like, it's not like I remember getting drunk or feeling like I was drunk, but I had about 3 of those buckets, and then suddenly details got vague, and then I was home. And all I'm going to say is thank God for Uber.
Yeah,
That
dude. Here's the thing about DragonCon. DragonCon is a relatively large amount of people coming to what I would consider a small big city. I mean, Atlanta is a big city, but it's not as big as most big cities. And in the amount of space that DragonCon takes up is fair, but it's pretty evenly distributed and spread out. But there's so many little like restaurants and businesses in between all the hotels that DragonCon takes over. All of these hotels like theme, or the restaurants will like theme their menus for that week. Like, oh, it's a dragon flank or some bullshit, right? And
And they'll charge another $8 for it.
yeah, and then and then you'll go up to like the bar at one of the hosting hotels, and you'll be like, "What's this bucket?" And he's like, "It's a bucket of punch." And you're like, "That's it? You're not gonna tell me like it's not like dragon's blood or like mana potion?" They're just like, "No, it's a bucket of punch." And you drink it, and you go, "This is literally simple syrup in rum with like red food coloring in it."
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
But the second it hits your blood, it's so good.
you're feeling pretty good. But it's a fucking big ass bucket. It's not like it's not like they're like, "Oh, here's a cute little themed Dragon Con cup or something." It's just this fucking bucket about this deep. and
It's like a
about this-
fishbowl size.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like those buckets kids used to get at McDonald's for trick-or-treating. It's about that size filled with
Yeah.
booze.
Yeah.
Just all of them. And I still keep telling Ross that he needs to come for Dragon Con.
Yeah, you would love it, man.
it's
Dude,
on my
Dra-
list, believe me. And the funny thing is, USAopoly, the cons they go to are a lot, like, they go to different shows than a lot of the other companies that I've worked at.
I'm sure, yeah.
So, like, they went to South by Southwest this year, right? And I haven't, that's on my list to go to. So, I started on the 6th, so I'm gonna see what shows are on the list, and if Dragon, because I don't think they do PAX Prime, so if they don't, I don't see why a scouting trip to Dragon Con couldn't happen.
I'd be really surprised if they didn't do PAX Prime.
Well, they haven't before.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, they just haven't. So
they learned what a lot of other tabletop companies are learning about PAX. It's a really good time, but it's not always the best marketing decision.
PAX East is a good show. Like if
yes, PAX East is. I agree. PAX East is a good show.
And PAX South, just give it 2 more years, and I think it'll be up there.
PAX South is a lot smaller than PAX East right now.
Yeah.
Well, it's in January.
I definitely see.
It's in January, and it's in a city. I mean, I would argue it's in a state and a city that not a lot of people think, oh, this is a double doozy, right? Like,
until you get there.
San Antonio is beautiful.
That's what I say. I agree with you, but I'm saying like the mentality is, hey, trust me, both my parents are from Texas. I hear a lot about how beautiful and awesome Texas is all the time. But you think about people going like, oh, going to Seattle. Oh, it's a no-brainer. Not only will I be there for PAX, but Seattle's like this fucking,
It's Seattle, right? Yeah.
Like, it's a metropolis of cool shit. And Boston's very similar, right? I mean, even if you go like, oh, just history-wise, Boston's a really interesting city that people are like, you should definitely see Boston once in your life. No one's like, yo, you gotta check San Antonio. Like, people are like, you should probably, if you're doing a road trip, you should stop and see the Alamo, and then you should keep going where you're going. So.
Keep going where you're going. See the Alamo get stung by a really weird wasp-like insect.
Could be a dragonfly.
Get shot. Go
You're
home.
out west.
Well, the first PAX South, when we were there, funny enough, on the turquoise thing, right next door was the biggest turquoise convention in the world.
Great.
A turquoise convention?
Yeah, it's like a jewelry show, but for turquoise rocks. And I think having it in Texas would make sense, or New Mexico, right? So, yeah.
Heath was so unimpressed he left.
Yeah, he's like, I'm fucking out of here.
Screw this turquoise show. I'm out of here. He told me earlier today he got a new router because he's having internet issues, so that may be the problem.
Oh, that's funny.
Maybe he'll. Oh, he's coming back. He's trying.
He's trying.
You done talking about turquoise?
He's like, you guys done?
You guys done talking about turquoise?
That's funny. So tomorrow I'm super jazzed for the launch of Overwatch.
Oh yeah, is that coming out tomorrow?
Yeah, it comes out tomorrow at 4 p.m. So
I actually missed the beta on that, and I have not gotten a chance to play it. Everyone I know is talking about it. I haven't played it yet. It's
a blast. I've been playing since the launch of the private beta, and it's just a good time. It's a nice mix of like Team Fortress 2 and Borderlands.
Yeah.
So playing by yourself is not fun. Playing with a team is great.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I heard like if you don't have friends playing, you're just gonna get murdered because the synergy is so good. Like you can have really good teams of synergy if you're just doing like what they call pugging it, just pickup groups. Yeah, so I've got like a Facebook group I've been running. It's not a guild, but like if you need someone to play with, just pop on and we're usually all doing some stuff. It's funny because once you have a team of 6, that's your max team size, so people could spectate. And then they can join in once that list gets open. But sometimes you want to play with like 5 people because you're waiting for your buddy to get on. But then anybody can join your group if they're friends with anybody else in the thing. You just right-click and go to join group, which is cool because it makes for matchmaking pretty quick. But yeah, it's been neat. I've really enjoyed watching Blizzard's marketing. They did that big action figure thing. Oh yeah.
So they had 6 different action figures across the world this weekend. It's pretty crazy.
Blizzard is a crazy.
He's made it back.
I'm back. Yay. Woo! Blizzard, I've noticed, does something very clever, which is they almost create a viral zeitgeist when they release games. They have a marketing team that does a very good job of just saying, like, look, push through, don't worry about responding to stuff, like, just act like this thing is going to be the next big thing. And, like, they do a lot of clever, like, ways of making that happen because, not to say that they've ever really needed that because all their games are always, like, AAA, super polished. great releases. But actually, StarCraft 2 struggled a little bit at the beginning because there was a lot of people, especially in the esports and the Korean community, that were just like, "Hey, we're not gonna move on, right?" And they just they always do a really good job of just like, "Nope, if you're not talking about this new game we're making, then you're not talking about the thing that really matters in video games." They always have a way to like kind of do that, and they did a really great job with Overwatch. I mean, between the trailer videos they put out and the action figures, I mean, like that's the funny thing, right? Like those action figures crack me up because I'm looking at those and I'm like, that's the type of thing you would see at San Diego Comic-Con when the game had been out for a year and had an established fan base. That would be like the fan servicey thing, like, oh, I got to go by the Blizzard booth because they're gonna have these badass action figures, and Blizzard's like, yo, the game's not even out. Nobody's reviewed it yet. We don't even know what the final like player count's gonna be.
Except that they do though. They had 8.7 million people.
They had
doing the
8.7 million people playing a free beta, right? They don't know what the final paid player count's gonna be. And don't get me wrong, it's gonna be huge because it's a fucking Blizzard game, and every Blizzard game is huge. But I'm saying like, it's that. Like almost like sure-footedness that they have in their marketing department to just say, like, look, this is going to be the next big thing. We just fully believe in it. You know what I mean? A lot of marketing teams are reactive to what look, the next Call of Duty fucking trailer is going to be completely different than the most recent Call of Duty trailer because that last Call of Duty trailer was so hated, right? The marketing team is going to be very reactive. It's not going to do what Blizzard does where they go like, no. That was a great trailer, and the next trailer is going to double down on how great that trailer was.
Well, so you think they're taking like a hint from the Hillary Clinton campaign? Like we're just it's inevitable. It's just going to be the next thing.
Blizzard,
right?
I can't say that. I can't say that because Blizzard's always done that. I mean, they did that with They did that with StarCraft. They did that with Heroes of the Storm. Even though they're mediocre, the response to it was pretty mediocre. I mean, it's still struggling as a MOBA. It's still struggling to compete with the big two, right? But they treated it like, yo, this is a big fucking deal, and it's everybody from every Blizzard game. You know what I mean? So they just their marketing team is always just very, very powerful.
Well, their esport. I think the big thing that helped on the Heroes of the Storm bout was their collegiate system.
Oh yeah.
Like the Heroes of the Dorm, getting that on ESPN3 was, and they're active with it.
Yeah.
And that's really helpful too. But yeah, so I'm super jazzed for that, and that's kind of be the thing, kind of watching, like I like watching marketing stuff, right? So they had the action figures released this weekend. They pushed AMC. They're going to do. You can watch all the cinematic videos in an AMC, and so all those tickets almost sold out. So everywhere they were doing it, they blew out like that.
That's brilliant.
That's crazy.
And they only went live 5 days before they were going to close it down, like the signups for it. So
well, you know what's brilliant about that too is that shit's going to be on YouTube in 5 minutes. Right? Yeah. Like, somebody's going to data mine that release, and they're going to upload those to YouTube in 5 minutes. So they just found a fucking way to say, look, we know that most of you guys are going to go to YouTube and watch these and just play the fucking multiplayer of this game. So here's a way for us to generate revenue.
The game's only multiplayer.
Yeah.
So even the cinematics are going to be in the... Wait, okay, then I should say that people are just going to skip those cinematics. Or, you know what I mean? Or people who don't buy the game are going to...
So the cinematics I'm talking about are the trailers for the characters in the game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have a little backstory. Like,
okay, I've seen those.
League of Legends has cinematics and stuff. It's like,
I didn't realize they were... That's the ones they've already released on YouTube, then.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
And so they're going to show 2 new ones off in this little AMC ticket-based thing. But, yeah, crazy. They're just like, and here it is, and now they're gone.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And speaking of the MOBA-type games, there's actually a new game on Kickstarter that is a MOBA-style board game, which is quite interesting, called Load.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't got a chance to look at it, the miniatures are actually quite impressive.
Mm-hmm.
And it's doing fairly well. Not like, millions well, but I'm quite interested in it because the art is really
neat. LOAD?
Yeah, LOAD. Load.
Where are we now?
I'm on a Kickstarter Facebook group where it's just board game tabletop guys getting together to share Kickstarter info, and I figured out like overseas development stuff from them. It's pretty cool. So I've been watching Load kind of slowly develop over time, and watching like the minis come out and the art assets they've been putting into it.
Wow,
just
this looks so Euro.
Oh, I like that box cover.
Holy shit!
It's a very pretty game.
Well, I'm backing this now.
Yeah, you know what's funny is that board is
Yeah, I
straight
just
up.
backed Dark Souls, so now I'm like debating if I need to back this one too.
I'm actually super not. I'll be honest. I'm not actually interested in. I've seen at least 10 to 15 MOBA to board game pitches at like various unpub shows or designer night type things, and they've all, in my opinion, none of them have quite hit the mark. But oh my god, that box!
Yeah, no, that's
That box is, in my opinion, like as a designer, not a graphic designer, just a dude that loves games. That is what I like in a game box. It's striking. It's obvious. It's polished. It's obviously AAA. You know what it is. It's the logos, I guess, is whatever, but that's awesome.
Just the composition, everything, and the art.
That's so pretty. Yeah. Well, I just backed it. So.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Jonathan, you owe me $30. I'm billing you after this.
Only 30?
I'm sorry. You owe me $99 or more.
Or more.
So I just backed the game from Patrick and James Talk.
Oh yeah, that looks awesome. That's another one, and that one's not that expensive unless you want like the all wood pieces, right?
It was like $20 more, so I think I went with like the Parlor edition, which was the wooden piece one. But it looked super nice, and it's almost like the next kind of chess-based thing, right? So it's like
kind of like another game I'm a huge fan of is the Duke. It reminds me of that. Have you guys ever played Duke by Catalyst Games?
I have not. Oh yes. What am I saying? Yes, of course. Yes.
And the top game reminds me a lot of that. Very simple to play, but you get really good at it, like with the strategies.
Wait. You guys haven't played the Duke?
No, I haven't. No.
Oh, it's basically chess. It's like super simple, but the way that it works is your one side of your tile is like a unit with a name, and it shows you this unit's move on this turn. You can do this type of move on this turn. When you move it to where you're going to move it to based on the rule it has, and then you flip it. That next turn, you have a different move set you can do.
Oh, I saw this thing at PAX last year.
Yeah, and I mean this game's been
so
out
all your
for
characters
a
are
long
actually tiles that has dots on them. It shows you your movement. Every time you move, you flip that tile over, and it's a different movement on the opposite side.
It's been out for years. It's been renamed. It's been licensed by the Viking show, right? It's as the Jarl.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they have a version called the Jarl, which they said that one adds like a few different elements to it to kind of help differentiate it. But it's a very good game. It's a very good game.
Up there in one of my top 5 for sure. I would say it's my number 1 2-player game.
Yeah, it's definitely like chess. It's very much like your understanding of each unit helps you play the game, and your units are shuffled into a bag, and so every time you put a unit out, you're just randomly pulling a unit. You're not getting to choose. So you're kind of having to deal with the situation you put yourself into, but you don't always have to spawn. You can move. And
the best way I've heard described is, chess is a game all about strategy, long-term strategy and campaign and executing it, while the Duke is more about tactics because it's nearly impossible to predict one of the 2 moves ahead.
Yeah.
So it's all about immediate tactics, how to deal with the situation you have immediately in front of you. Because you only start off with like 3 or 4 pieces on the board. Each piece is going to have a different move every time it moves. And then if you ever add a new character, you don't know what you or your opponent's going to add to the board. So the challenge is constantly changing. So you really can't predict several moves ahead. It's all about dealing with the fastest, quick scenario you can deal with. That's why I love it so much.
It's really good, yeah. And I think I can understand where people not having played it, because if you walk by it in a con setting, it's a very classy game. All the tiles are wood, but it's not sexy. It looks very bland. I mean, the wood tiles are this kind of dark-colored stained wood, and then it's played on a very similarly colored board. So it kind of just, you look at it, it's a very mute board, and if you don't know what's happening, it just kind of looks like people are pushing tiles around. It's not as interesting as
exactly. It doesn't
when you sit down and yeah. It's not like miniatures, right?
Yeah, some of the guys from Geek Chic taught me that game.
No, so I got taught by
Chic looking table game because it's all wood and fancy looking. And, super awesome.
You guys were talking about MOBA board games. Did you guys see that MOBA board game a couple months ago, maybe like almost a year ago, called Hunters Enter the Darkness? It was like a chibi MOBA.
Oh yeah, I heard that was actually pretty good. I haven't played it yet though.
Which one?
Yeah, Hunters Enter the Darkness. It's a MOBA game that uses chibis, but I will say this: it is not as directly. I think it's not as directly a MOBA as Load looks. Like Load is very much like here's 3 lanes and here's the jungles.
Yeah.
Whereas like this one had a little bit more different, like a map to it. It looked like you couldn't just go straight. There was walls that guided you kind of around. I believe. I think the board might even be modular, but I'm not 100%. I didn't bag it because I don't like MOBAs. So
I want to play Smite because I like the idea of MOBAs. I had fun playing League of Legends, but I just really can't stand point and click to move.
Yeah.
In games, it's just I get bored very easily. It doesn't feel immersive to me because I'm just clicking on things.
Yeah.
I just get disappointed in myself as a player in those games.
That's true.
I literally am so bad.
That's my biggest problem with MOBAs, actually. Like, as cool as they are, I played League of Legends for like 3 months, and the promise of what they have is probably cooler than the promise of any other type of game, but never in any type of game I've ever played have I ever felt so bad as a human being.
I totally agree.
Because you suck, and you make your friends enjoy the game less because of it.
Yep.
Well, I'll put it this way. Anytime I've ever played, and this is something that is deep in the MOBA community, is if you play online and you play with a bunch of strangers and you're terrible, prepare yourself for the onslaught of commentary. It'll be both colorful and lovely.
But not motivating.
No, the complete opposite of motivating.
I mean, I think it's when I was younger, I probably could have handled it better and been like, no, I'll do your mom. Nowadays, it's just depressing. Like, I'm closing in on 30, and every time I see someone that's just like, get good, I'm like, I don't have time. I'm an adult.
They've gotten a lot, especially League. They've gotten they've gotten really good at their matchmaking and their community thing. I mean, they've been working on that thing like it's the cure for cancer for the last several years. But it's still the internet. Like, I honestly, strangers don't bother me as much. I mean, the internet's the internet. I'm a designer that is semi-vocal on the internet. I'm used to a certain amount of hate every day. It's like a vitamin. I take it in the morning, and there you go. But it's when you're playing with your friends and you feel an ownership stake in their enjoyment of the game, and you let them down. I remember. Do you remember Vainglory? It came out last year for mobile. It was the I don't remember which studio did it. It was a MOBA that was. Yes. It was the newest AAA MOBA for mobile.
Yeah.
It was a little simpler, a little more streamlined, and they promised that this game won't make you feel bad like other MOBAs. I played it with one of my best friends at FFG and his kid. 3-player game. We finally got together. We finally played, and at the end, I just sucked. Like I spawned. I walked us up. I scratched my ass and died, and like over and over and over and over again. And at the end of it, they were kind of like, I could hear it in their voices. They were like, "Oh, you want to play this again?" Like, "No, Dad, I never want to play again. I may never play games again." I'm like, that crushes you, right? Oh,
when you lose so hard, the people you're playing with are like, "We can switch to something else. It's fine. I'm okay with that. We'll play something. We'll play Diablo 3. That's nice and gentle. We'll play Diablo 3."
I'm not a gamer anymore. I'm done. Like,
hey, Eric, I have a question for you.
Uh-oh.
So you're just talking about internet communities and being vocal on internet communities.
Ruh-roh.
No. I just wanted to know your feedback about something. How do you feel about the Board Game Geek meme that is Blood Rage? The fact that
interesting.
You know what I mean? Like, I just want to know your opinion because like it is so viral. It is crazy. You can't see a Board Game Geek post on Facebook or on the site anymore without somebody just putting a Blood Rage meme up, right? How does that make you feel?
I actually haven't noticed.
You haven't noticed?
Oh, man. You got to join. Oh, there's some Board Game Geek groups on Facebook where it's just all of a sudden, it's like, oh, meaningful post, lots of talk, Blood Rage memes.
Yeah, Blood Rage memes. It is I can't tell if it's trolly or if it's just like everyone's like, no, this is the game, like this is the jam, or if it's like people are poking fun at the again, I hate to use this word twice in one lifetime, but zeitgeist of like Blood Rage being this thing that everybody kind of commands be played and also feels has like a lot of respect for. It's really I'm so surprised you haven't seen this.
Well, so just so you know, I actually kind of go out of my way to avoid too many different forums online. So like I read Board Game Geek for news and stuff like that. I don't read a lot of posts, a lot of comments, a lot of threads. I definitely do not read publisher forums that still have them or stuff like that. It's not that I'm thin. I've gotten really thick skin over the last little while, but just it wears you down. And it's not even the hate, right? The hate doesn't bother me. It's just there's a and obviously this doesn't apply to everything, but there's you get a sense of jadedness from some of these forums that like just it starts to make you a little bit jaded yourself, right? And my livelihood depends on me being excited all the time, and my natural state of being is excited, and I pretty much just anything that's going to harsh my mellow on that, I'm like, nah, not interested. So it's awesome that they play. I love that like Blood Rage is doing the thing, and it's getting people excited about gaming, and that people are getting all metal and on the gaming table, but don't want to read about it.
Can anyone screen share that meme so he can see what he's talking about?
I mean, my favorite one is the one from South Park. Hold on, let me pull it up.
Yeah, I'm trying to find some right now.
And the thing is, it's funny, on Google, there is a lot of them. So, but there's not nearly as many as you would see. Let me see if I can screen share real fast. How do you screen share on this?
I could still give you a haircut.
Somebody talking about getting a haircut back there?
Oh, so you guys can hear that? Okay, so yeah, so my mic on my laptop is still on, even though my headphones are plugged in and I've turned it to mic only. So you guys may have heard my dog bark a little bit, and I'm at my parents' house right now for this week, and then I'm gonna go camping next week, and then when I get back, I'll be looking for a place. So hopefully, less than a month, I'll be here, which would be nice. So yeah. In the meantime,
the screen is black.
I'm doing
My screen's black? You can't see that?
No.
I see a mouse moving around.
That's weird. Okay, well, that's unfortunate.
Well, dude, I just Googled Blood Rage meme. I'm looking at the images.
You'll get a couple of them. You won't get as many as there are on Board Game Geek, trust me.
There's Batman slapping Robin, of course.
Yeah, there's the
baby.
Park. If you're not posting Blood Rage meme, you're going to have a bad time. That's great. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
It is a fantastic game. I actually played that game last night, believe it or not. It was a good time. So I stacked up Loki cards and Heimdall cards, I believe, and they worked really well together.
Yeah, I've actually made it my mission to crush Loki players now.
Nice. Well, I'll only go for Loki cards just because I remember when we did the early play test at the C1 office, it worked out well.
Yes.
And I was like, well, I'm going to go for that now, and I realized it works well with Heimdall cards too.
If you are bad at games, Loki cards are the way to go. That's why they're always what I get.
So I need to go for Loki cards, guaranteed. Got it.
Yeah, because you just lose. If you lose, you win.
See, I like Blood Rage because there's no dice. And
That's true too.
Jonathan can tell you that my dice rolls are epically tragic.
Oh, do not play the others then when it comes out.
No,
Yeah,
I played a beta of the others with.
Yeah, Tiago
Jonathan.
had it. It was like a year ago. It was the International Tabletop Day, and Tiago brought over the others.
Yeah.
With Heath, Elizabeth, and I.
Oh my God.
Prototype.
I remember I made a mistake and was like, I can do this, guys. Don't worry, I got it. And then I ran across the board and got murdered.
No.
It's okay. That's just I've learned. I have permanent demoers luck. It's gonna be great if I ever come out with a board game because I can just go to cons and naturally lose and play it off. And then have chunks of my soul slowly die in pieces.
Heath is the best game demoer ever because he won't win.
No, I won't. I will try to win. I will put my heart into it. I'll be passionate every time just to be crushed. It's okay.
Good times.
I've learned to come to peace with these things.
What did you play at CMON Expo, Eric? Besides Bloodborne, was there anything else?
I played Godfather.
Oh yeah. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not going to come. Sorry, this is my new favorite. Thanks, Heath.
Nice. I've lost chunks of my soul.
Godfather will not be coming out. Probably not this year. Probably be coming out early next year. So, I worked on it for like crazy amounts of time, but there's licensing, production stuff. But so we're just going to take our time. But it actually was slated. I personally slated it as to be my follow-up to Blood Rage. Not to be like, it's not a next Blood Rage game, but it's a next game in that size, like 60 to 90 minutes, 2 to 5 players. But it's The Godfather. I mean, you guys like The Godfather, right?
Yeah,
The movie.
Of course.
So it's one of my favorite movies of all time. The Godfather 1 is one of my favorite. I'm a little bit. I know most people like the second one better. I like the first one by far, like by miles.
I like them. I like the first one actually a little bit better than the second one, but they're very close.
The first one's by miles my favorite. So the board game is based on the first movie, and it's worker placement with murder, and it's with murder, intrigue, and just beating the crap out of each other. But at the end of the day, it's all about managing money. So you don't play Vito Corleone. You play the other 5 families, and it goes for 4 acts of the first movie. At the end of the Act 4, when spoiler alert happens, whichever one of you guys has the most money wins. And all you're doing is you're building. I mean, you're a mob boss. So I wanted to make a game that really makes you feel like a mob boss. So it is a bloody economic engine game. So you're putting thugs down on the board to shake down businesses. You're putting in dons to influence areas and win turf wars, so that when other people shake them down, you get a piece of it. That you're doing jobs for the don, that's all the horrible take that stuff in the game. But there's a lot of take that in the game, but none of it's permanent, right? It's all about money. So even though you're like killing each other's guys and throwing them into the river, you'll get them back. You can always get new thugs at the next round.
Awesome.
It doesn't cost you any. That's basically what you're doing is you're attacking people in the wallet. The key to the game is it's going to come with these really cool tin suitcases that you're managing money and jobs and character powers and stuff that all go into your hand, and you have a hand limit. At the end of every round, you have to pay tribute up to Vito Corleone. So you have to anything that you haven't managed to squirrel away, you got to discard down to 5 cards. It is through most of the rounds, and you get tons and tons of cards as you're shaking stuff down. The other thing is money in your hand is useless. You have to find a way to launder it into your suitcase. That's the mafia the mafia problem. So there are spaces on the board where you get illegal goods to do jobs, but you also have to go to suitcase laundering places to put money away. You have to balance those two during the course of the game, while blowing up other people with car bombs and doing backroom deals and stealing each other's cards and throwing other people into the river till they're dead. It's pretty awesome. I really, really like the game. It's about the same weight as Blood Rage, but a very, very different feel.
That is awesome.
I just want to be able to murder someone with an ice pick. I'm pretty sure if that's the case, I will gladly just be like, all right, we have to play this just so I can play this one card.
So how does combat or any sort of battles, or how are they resolved in that game?
There's no mechanic for it. There's only jobs. There are job cards that come up. Everybody gets private jobs that go into their hand. There's a number of public jobs that anybody can do. And the jobs are all the mafia stuff that you get. So you have to collect a bunch of illegal goods, and both illegal goods and gear, the means to do them. And then once you've done that, you discard those, you pay for the job, and it's done. And the job goes into your suitcase as well, because at the end of the game you get more bonuses for completing different types of jobs. But the jobs themselves tell you what you're after. So the jobs are your tactics in the game. So like, set off a car bomb is one of the jobs, and you have to get you got to get a bunch of explosives and demolitions and stuff like that from the board, and you do that, and then once you get the job, when you complete it, you get to kill all players in one area.
So you kill players by completing secret objectives, almost.
Depending on what they are, right? So not all of them are violent. The munitions jobs are violent, but there's also dirty money jobs which affect other people's suitcases. There's also booze running jobs that affect the actual board, the turf war and that kind of stuff.
Nice. That
So
sounds awesome.
it's basically it's the type of game that you know me for. That it's just dudes on a map, maybe killing each other, maybe not. But at the end of the day, it's resource management.
That sounds really cool. Well, the show's gone on for a little while. I don't want to make it go too long, so I like to wrap up the show, as we do every week, with one round of one of my favorite games, which is Super Fight. So, for today, I'm definitely going to have the legendary Eric Lang
Yes.
versus...
It's got to be Ross. He hasn't played yet, has he?
Yes, he has.
I played and I sang Queen for my
I was
argument.
actually, yeah, everyone else has played. I was actually going to go with Spencer so you can redeem
Nice.
yourself.
Do it.
Oh, redeem. I can redeem myself.
Redemption can be yours.
All right, we'll see.
Because Ross has already won one.
Yeah.
Heath
Whatever
lost
you
one
do.
as well, but I'm going with Spencer.
I also played for 5 hours the other day, so I'm pretty sure I have a mild unfair advantage. I know exactly how to counter argue these things.
Oh.
All right. So
Logic.
Spencer, you will get to be Link that can summon anything from a hardware store.
Okay.
Link from Legend of Zelda has the ability to summon anything that would be in a hardware store.
So you have to really quickly explain Super Fight to me. I know I'm old.
It's fair. So the way you play Super Fight is I'm giving each of you a character with an attribute from a card. And you're going to have to argue who would win in the fight. Why your character would win against his character in a fight.
Oh,
You'll
sure.
each get an opening argument and a closing argument, and then the rest of us vote.
Okay.
And so, Eric, you get to be Cyclops with scissor hands.
Cyclops with scissor hands.
So Cyclops scissor hands versus Link from Legend of Zelda that can also summon anything from a hardware store.
Cyclops, proper noun Cyclops, as in X-Men Cyclops.
X-Men Cyclops.
No, the
Not
Cyclops
just-
from Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Just a one-eyed dude with...
Scissor hands.
I say, I'm just checking.
Yeah, it's they're actually both from the Super Fights Orange Nerd deck, so it's from like the comic book and video game references.
Would have been easier if he was a Cyclops, but...
He's Cyclops from the X-Men Cyclops with scissor hands. And you're Link, who can summon anything that could be in a hardware store. So you can just summon all sorts of hardware store stuff, and you got Cyclops with scissor hands.
Beware
Who would
power
like to go
tools.
Okay.
Spencer, would you like to go first, or Eric, would you like to go first?
Oh, Spencer's going first.
That's fair.
All right.
No, Spencer, your opening argument about Link, anything from a hardware store, fighting Cyclops with scissor hands.
I like how... I just want to make a note. I like how Eric going, Spencer goes first, is like, that's fair. That's fair. I've done the judgment. That seems like a fair thing.
You could have just said Eric goes first, and I would have said, okay, Eric goes first. I was waiting for someone to make a decision.
Okay, so based on what I know of both opponents of the scenario, myself being Link and Eric Lang being Cyclops from the X-Men, I would argue physicality might be a little bit more in Eric Lang's favor as Cyclops, but his true threats to me are his laser eyes and his scissor hands. Both of those things can be basically nullified with one very, very, very powerful tool that Link is quite good at using, and that is a piece of reinforced mirror. So he gets a little bit of metal from the hardware store, and he gets a little bit of mirror from the hardware store, and he creates himself a mirror shield. And if you played any Legend of Zelda, you know that a mirror shield is one of Link's tried and true weapons of choice. It's maybe one of his most powerful. So shoot lasers at Link with my mirror shield, gonna blast them right back at you. You throw those scissors hands at me, I'm going to just block them off with the shield itself. And then when you go in for any kind of punch kick combination, any kind of wrestling move Cyclops might do, I'm going to do the ultimate impervious move ever, which is the dodge roll while Z targeting.
That's a pretty awesome opening statement. Eric, what is your opening statement?
Well, so clearly, what's the number one rule of any battle? Choose the battlefield. So while Spencer as Link is all like, oh, in Link world, Link holds a mirror and stops lasers. Well, this is the real world, where in the real world, Marvel movies outsell the shit out of anything Link's ever done by a factor of God knows how many. So in the real world, laser's just fucking hot. You're taking it. Your mirror, Link will sit there holding his mirror, maybe looking at himself a little bit, doing his hair, like, ooh, I'm Spencer. And then attempt for 1 second to hold it up, and then Cyclops laser just punches right through it. He ignores his scissor hands. He's like, oh, this was a curse given to me by somebody who thought Tim Burton was really clever and decided to throw that into the X-Men universe. He throws the claws away and just shoots through the mirror and pops little Link's head like a zit.
Spencer.
I just have to say that it is my scientific understanding that scientists use mirrors to redirect lasers all the time. However, if that's incorrect, I will say this. Link has negotiated the water temple, the fire temple, all sorts of temples. I believe the real-world temple would not be a problem for Link. He would find a way to negotiate and satisfy the demands needed for him to succeed. And also, again, I have to emphasize the power of the dodge roll. Just the dodge roll, dog. Just rolling to escape danger while I have invincibility frames, because those exist, even in the real world.
Invincibility frames. Eric Lang, closing statement.
I'm not going to use words.
Oh, great.
All right. Are you ready? We're even going to give Spencer. We're going to give Spencer the Temple of Stupidity. So he goes to the temples, does his thing, blah 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 blah. I forget. Even though Marvel greater than sign Link in the real world, we're going to forget all that. The closing arguments come in two parts. Part one, to illustrate. This is Link.
Oh boy.
This is Link doing a dodge roll. Oops. Because the dodge roll stops. It stops right there. That's Link as one dead fucking panda. Now that's the illustrated portion of our argument. The second one is, when all else fails, who's Cyclops' girlfriend?
Oh boy.
Closing statements.
We didn't realize we had Carrot Top on the show tonight.
Oh man.
All right, Heath, who are you voting for?
I'm giving it to Eric Lang, only because Link summoning anything from a hardware store, you probably could have done something with that, but you had to spend the time to build the mirror shield. I just imagine Cyclops is just like, no, just take like 3 days, that's fine. I'm just going to sit here and not move or do anything with my scissor hands. It's fine. So no, I've got to give it to him. That's where you lost me.
I will go ahead and vote for the mirror shield taking on Cyclops.
Oh, it's always me with the tiebreaker. I hate this.
Yeah, I've always loved the tiebreaker, so I'm giving it to you. I didn't want to be the tiebreaker this time. I always leave my vote for last, and this time I did not want to be the tiebreaker. I'm saying Cyclops would have the mirrors bounce back and would shoot him. That is my opinion, and I think Link would be able to take on Cyclops Scissorhands. He's taking on Ganon.
Because in Jonathan Bradford's world, everybody attacks at an exactly 0-degree angle.
Yes. Ross, your vote.
So, while I feel that Spencer accurately, argued his knowledge of Link video games with his Z button and his rolls, I do feel that his hardware pick was lacking. You had the hardware store. Have you not heard Weird Al's The Hardware Store song? Half those things.
I'm familiar.
All those things in there would have been better than some mirror pieces and some metal. You could have gone with a chainsword, like a chainsaw, all these things. But
you guys did not appreciate the fact that I created an item from the game out of the hardware store?
Well, the thing is that we are in the real world.
Is Link a carpenter?
Was chosen, muchacho.
And I have to go with Johnny Depp Cyclops. So.
If there's one thing I know about Link from Zelda, it is that he is a hell of a craftsman and apparently can build himself anything out of a hardware store.
He can, though. Like that for all things that Link does get, a hardware store would be the best pick.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure a Cyclops attack would be instantly 3 hearts gone.
Oh, I'm pretty sure, too. Yeah.
Let's admit to ourselves, Link would just be summoning pots from the outdoor section out there. Just for days, smashing them.
Smashing them, yeah.
And returning them. These broke, sir. I need new ones.
Link and his sweet, sweet refund scandal.
Well, that was awesome, guys. Anything else any of you would like to add before we wrap up the show? Anything you want to plug?
No points for dismantling the patriarchy and bringing in his girlfriend to finish the job?
Well, she did kill him in the last movie, so... that was
Whatever movie.
Fine, if no one else is doing a shameless plug, I will. Yeah, Kickstarter, June 20th, Red Panda Miniatures. Go check it out. It's going to be awesome.
The video might be cool, too.
Yeah. No, I've been purposely not telling people too much info about the video because I want them to see it and I wanted to blow their faces off.
Well, I appreciate that.
They have no idea what's coming. It's going to be awesome.
I appreciate you have that much faith in the video.
Heath, I want to see you use Facebook Live during this campaign at least once.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll make it happen.
I've been telling you need to try to do a live sketching session where you sketch a character.
Dude, that's actually that's something Patrick Heath mentioned to me. Is that for during the campaign and before the campaign, actually sketching out characters used for future stretch goals, and I was like, yeah, I want to do that. And of course, I'm going to see something like, oh, your women are ugly, and I'll be like, okay, that's fine. Thanks, Internet.
Well, the cartoon characters that, for a change, are not all tits. Which I think is
true. I actually haven't drawn one yet, which I'm kind of proud of for this campaign.
A tit?
Yep.
Yeah.
I haven't drawn one tit yet.
Not one tit.
Listen, in this industry, if you're working on a game or a line of minis, there's not an exposed breast somewhere. Somehow you are forming a miracle.
That's true.
Pardon me, guys. I'm at 1% battery. I'm going to have to move this to my office.
Oh, well, we're wrapping it up.
We'll wrap it up anyways, Eric.
All right.
So, but it is awesome to travel around your house with you. I must say that.
Yeah. Oh, damn it. I didn't turn on the light.
Watch on the podcast The Inevitable Death of Eric Lang.
Ow.
Now it's snuff film.
We just went into a dark room with Eric Lang.
God damn it.
I would read that blog. I would read that blog. A Dark Room with Eric Lang.
See what happens here.
Dun, 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 dun.
I had to change locations.
That was highly entertaining. I'm so glad.
Well, I was at
locations just for us to say goodbye.
I was at 1% battery. Otherwise, it would have just been gone. You guys would be you'd think I was in a ditch or something, or I was in Atlanta, and.
Oh.
It's Atlanta, only ditches.
Yeah, that's all we have. It's just ditches. All
Ditches for days. Ditches get stitches.
You used to live there, Spencer. You know what I'm talking about.
It's a great city. I actually miss it all the time. What a great place.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, if you're ever in Atlanta, you should definitely eat at a place called Rathbun's Steakhouse or Kevin Rathbun's Diner. It's Kevin Rathbun's restaurant. Kevin Rathbun is an Atlanta amazing chef, and I recently watched a show about him, and it not only had I eaten at his restaurant before, I went this food is incredible, but I watched a show about him and his background and what he's done since he's become an established celebrity chef is fucking amazing. He gives a ton of money to the Atlanta food bank to make sure that the homeless in Atlanta have food to eat. So I was man, everybody should know more about that. So if you go to Atlanta, you should eat at one of the Rathbun restaurants.
Oh, we'll have to check that out because I've actually never been.
Done.
They're great. They're great.
That's a
All right,
great part.
guys. Well, thank you all for being on the show. It was lots of fun, and I hope to see more of you again. And thank you again, Eric Lang, for coming onto the show. It was awesome to have you for the first time, and we would love to have you back, definitely.
Yeah, thanks, Jonathan. It was a great show. Stay black.
Awesome.
Okay.
I'll try. I will try. I don't know how to, but I'll try. All right, guys. Bye.
It's always fun to
Bye,
talk to white
everybody.
people.
Bye.
Later.